Hello and welcome back to E20 Zone TV. We watched earlier on Norwich nil, West Ham 4, and I am joined to my right by Mitchell. And we're going to get into the player ratings. Mitch, how are you doing after earlier's performance? You come on the afterthought. What did you make of it?
hmm Uh, exception. I thought the game was exceptional. Really enjoyable. Like, the most relaxed I've been for a game in a long time. I enjoyed the game. Yeah, really enjoyed it, mate. Not much more to say, really.
I've got to be honest. I got the Bowen thing wrong. You was 100% right, mate. The man got 3 assists earlier. So, yeah, I got that a bit wrong with that one earlier on the afterthought, but we'll ignore that. This is all about the player ratings, and let's get cracking.
To be fair,
Starting
I didn't know
off,
you got three.
he did, mate. Let's start with Fabianski, Mitch. What did you make of Fab today?
Well, besides from the fucking big mistake he made, like 3-1. Was it at 3-1? It was at 3-1, wasn't it? 3-0,
3 0,
sorry.
wasn't it? 3
Yeah,
0, yeah.
to make it 3-1, could have been a little bit different. Could be a little bit squeaky. Um, yeah. Besides from that, probably didn't really have to do too much. Made a very good save, to be fair, when Pookie went 1-on-1 with him. Made himself big, chunky. Fucking said, "No, Timo Pookie, you're not scoring against me, son." And he done all right. Done all right, not too bad. Distribution, as per, was pretty shit, but not bad. Although that was quite a big mistake. I don't know. What do you reckon, rating wise? I don't know.
I'm
I'm
going to
six
give him
or
a
seven.
not. No, I can't give him a 7, mate.
You was
Can't, I
about to say
can't.
9. Don't
No,
say
listen,
9.
I think he was excellent today, mate. What did
Oh,
you?
I can't be, you was about to say 9.
Nah, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go over the top with 9, I must admit. I'm going to give him an 8, Mitch.
All
I
right, I'll
think
give him
8.
a 7. I'll give him a 7. All right.
Yeah, I'm going to give him an 8. Like, I think 9 is a bit over the top, James, I must admit. I thought he was good. I thought he was all right. I thought he's a good save from Pokey. He's done other, like, he's kicking today. Like, yeah, he was okay. He come out, he's punching the ball out. He kept a clean sheet. Yeah, it's got to be an 8 for me. What are you giving him, a 7, Mitch, yeah?
7 because that little drop there where
Yeah,
he dropped it for their disallowed goal was very bad. I
yeah,
got a bit away with it there. So
7.
I would go if it wasn't because I would have given him an 8, 100%. But for me, that gives me down to a 7.
Cool, you're an harsh critic, but I love it. Moving on to this man.
I don't think 7's harsh at all, mate.
Moving on to Vladimir Coufal. I thought he was excellent today. You disagree on it, and you
I
don't
do
think he was.
disagree. Yeah.
I thought he was all right, mate. Today, I really did. I thought he'd done everything right. He was bombing down that right hand side. A couple of goals come down that side. So, what do I rate him today? I'm going to give him a high 8. I thought he was very good today, mate. I really did. Like, I really did. And I'm not. Listen. Like, he'd come back in. I thought he was excellent. I've got to give him a high 8, mate. What are you giving him, Mitch?
I'd give him a 7.
Mm.
I thought it was all right. That cross though that he done for Fornals, if he wasn't offside, that would have been absolutely glorious. I thought it was superb. I
I,
just, I really don't like Coufal, mate. I really don't like
mm,
his erraticness. I think he only plays well against teams where he's got a lot of space. Because when he's in tight spaces, people put pressure on him against the good sides. His head goes and he just hoofs it all the time.
yeah.
Today though, he didn't have that pressure, and I think he done better. Uh, yeah, he was all right. Like he didn't do his stupid little misplaced passes. He kept it simple. Um, Crossing was pretty good actually. To be fair, the couple of times he did cross, especially one
Mm.
for four nails defensively, was all right. Didn't really make too many tackles really. He just kind of kept to his position. Uh, Mitch hates check people. No, I fucking don't. I just hate so check because he's fucking useless. Um, so foul was yeah. To be fair, it was decent actually.
Mm.
I'll give it a 7. 7, I think 7's for me is about right.
7. Epic says here, yeah, I'm going to give Fabianski the permission to talk to other clubs.
His contract runs out. Somehow, though.
Well, they reckon they're going to give him an extension on his new contract. So,
See, I don't
yeah.
mind. I don't mind that as long as he becomes a second keeper.
Yeah.
He's still fairly reliable, and
Mm.
I do like Fabs. I absolutely love Fabs.
Mm. Moving
So I
on
wouldn't
though
mind.
to this man, he was the villain of the piece on Thursday. Today, I was quite surprised that he was in there. If I'm honest, but he was, and I
Was
thought
you?
he done all right. I was, mate.
What you
Really, I
thought
thought.
Johnson would have started or saying at left
I
back or?
thought, yeah, I thought Johnson was going to come in, mate. Especially after what happened the other day. The emotion of it, he must have been devastated. But I must admit, he played excellent today. Like he weren't great, like superb, but he weren't rubbish. He was good for what he had to do. What do you think, Mitch, on Cresswell today?
Yeah, probably our quietest player, as I spoke about on the afterthought. Uh, didn't get involved in the game so much defensively. Seemed all right. Kept to his, kept to his position well. Got forward a couple of times. One time he did get forward in a really good position. He played a great ball across to Fornals. It's a good touch, a good first touch from him, and it was a good pass, good weighted pass as well. And Fornals should have scored. Uh, yeah, because it's clean sheet as well. I'd say I'd probably a low seven. I'm a low seven
Mm. Um, yeah,
purely
I
because
agree.
it's clean sheet. I
I'm
know.
going to go the other way though. I'm going to give him a high 7, just not an 8 for me. I don't think he done enough to warrant an 8, but he doesn't do enough for me to go down to a 6. So it has to be a high 7 for me. Moving on though to this man, Kirk Zouma. Yeah, again, excellent. Again, I thought. Do you know what I mean? Done everything well. What was your assessment of him today, Mitch?
Slight worry with him at the minute. Only very slight. I've noticed in
Mm.
each game recently, he's been just he switches off for a couple seconds when
I
he's
know.
defending.
I
Did
noticed
you
that
see when
yeah,
when
him
he
and
left
Rice
a
together.
massive
Yeah,
gap to the right,
yeah,
when he was supposed to be covering the right, and the players ran through, and Rice had to turn on,
cover
and he
it.
done
Yeah.
exceptionally well, and went across and put the pressure on Pookie. Besides from that, I thought he'd done exceptional game, just won everything, didn't let anyone go past him. But
Mm,
it's a slight worry. It's a slight worry. I don't know if it's to do with the fact that he's come back from injury or I don't know. It's a bit strange that he's done it a couple of
mm,
times recently, and I don't really like that. But besides from that, I did think he had an excellent game. Uh, 7 or 8, 7 or 8. Oh, I'll give him an 8. I'll give him an 8. I think it was
mm.
very good.
I'm going to give him a high 7, just not an 8 for me. I think the other defender who we're going to get onto shortly was a slightly better in regards of throwing his body everywhere and like unbelievable like sort of stuff that Dawson was doing today. But yeah, high 7, just not an 8 for me. I totally agree with what you just said though about the Declan Rice Zuma thing
Thank you.
where he just lets the geezer go. I completely
Mm,
forgot about that, and when you said it, it sort of come to me straight away. That is a worry, mate, because that's a few
mm.
times that he's
Yeah,
gone
he's
with
done
a
it 3 times now. I think in the last few games.
yeah, yeah. He goes with a player, leaves the space in behind, and then if a ball comes over the top, then when like he's miles out of position, isn't he? So yeah, it's. I just think we need a better centre half next to him though next season, right? And I'm
Yeah.
not it's no disrespect to Dawson, but I think if you get a
Also
top,
ain't got the legs. That's all really. Like I think when you come
yeah,
get to top teams and you want to take the game to people, which really we want to do next season and step up our performances and bring in
yeah,
new players to the club. If we go up and put more pressure on teams, we're going to be more liable to be exposed in behind. And Dawson, we
I
know, is
agree.
very prone to being caught out there. So I think we do need someone a lot quicker and younger than Dawson. Dawson's a good player. He's a great player to have at the club and around the squad.
Mm.
For morale,
They
for picking
they
up
shouldn't be
teams. And
first choice, should they, Mitch?
he
Let's be
shouldn't.
honest.
He shouldn't, especially where
No,
we want to be next season, and the fact
yeah,
we're going to be likely playing in Conference League again. We're going to be playing 2 competitions. It's going to be great to have in those competitions, in the cup
yep,
games. But
100% agree.
besides from that, I think we do need another side centre half next to
Mm.
Zouma.
Moving on
Wait,
though,
I didn't give my rated for him.
go on then.
Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did. Sorry, what am I talking about? Yeah, I did, didn't I?
You did.
Yeah,
I thought you
yeah. I'm
did.
sorry.
You give a, yeah.
Sorry, my bad. I thought we were
Moving,
talking about
moving.
Dawson. That's why, for some reason.
Well, we're going to talk about Dawson now. Craig Dawson, and for me, I thought he was excellent today, mate. There's a couple of shots that he actually blocked. One he actually blocked with his head, I think, or his face. And there's
Mm.
another shot he done when he blocked it with his chest. he creates the penalty for us, the fourth goal. Like he's going in for an header. He mistimes the header and wins us the penalty. I thought he was excellent today, Craig Dawson. Do I, as we just said about it, do I want him in next year? Yes. Do I want him in my starting lineup next year? No. I want him in the squad, but I don't want him in the starting 11, in my opinion. So for me, I'm going to give Dawson an 8 today. I think he was excellent for what he had to do, right, defensively wise, and then all the blocks he done. I thought he was really good, mate. If I'm honest, so I'll give him an 8. What are you giving Craig Dawson Mitchell?
I'd probably say for me, it was him and Zouma were probably level for me personally. I think once Dawson got beat, I think got a bit done for pace and he got cut across and Zouma cleared it. Same again, one mistake, one slight mistake from both players there, Zouma and Dawson. Besides from that, I thought they're both exceptional, putting their body in the line. Just quite dominant. Good evening. I think his name's James. Yeah, I think he done well as well. So I'll give him an 8. Same as Zouma.
I agree, mate. I really, really do. Moving on though to this man, which is Declan Rice, captain. What did you think of Declan today, mate?
I thought it was exceptional. Really, really good. Yeah, bit more vintage Rice today. He's been slightly. Obviously he's been good. I'm not denying he's not been good recently, but more. The vintage Rice that we've been seeing, especially at the start of the season. I thought he was exceptional today.
Was it vintage from him today because he has 2 players next to him and it gives him a bit of freedom?
Brain.
Yeah.
100%. I think Lanzini's a player that, to be fair, when I've seen Lanzini and Rice play before, when they've played together, they do link up well. I've noticed they're on a very similar wavelength. Lanzini is a very good player in terms of his brain. I think his brain, he's a very good player. He wants to keep things moving, keep things ticking, keeps wanting to go forward. Same as Rice, really. And I think that's why they bounce off quite well. Unfortunately, Lanzini ain't the player he used to be, so he hasn't got quite that amount of pace or skill or what he used to have, that little more edge. But he's still got that brain, and I think that's why him and Rice do bounce off quite well. And today, I think that showed. I think Rice was on a similar wavelength to Lanzini. The positioning was fantastic. When Lanzini got up, Rice was always in a good position to offer himself to the ball, and vice versa. Yeah, I thought it was a good game. Defended well. No one got past him. Passing was great. Switch balls were good. Yeah, just a good performance from Rice. I'll give him a high 8 for me. It was very good.
I'm going to give Rice a middle 8 for me. It's not a high 8. It's not a low 8 for me. I thought he was excellent. But I think other players sort of come into it today. Deck is very good, and we've always said that if he has support in midfield, West Ham, he will become even better. I thought today the 4-3-3 in the first half absolutely went through him, and I want to see that more next season. The 4-3-3, not this 4-2-3-1 stuff, because I think West Ham get overrun in midfield in certain games, and then Declan's running around trying to.
And then because of that, we always have to go to the wings and do these stupid little crosses in.
Yeah. And that's where it's just not working. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'll give Rice a sort of in the middle of the road 8. Yeah. So for me, I thought he was excellent. I really did.
One thing I'll just say quickly on Rice. Sorry, James.
Go on, mate.
I think everyone, all the pundits and that, and even West Ham fans and other fans of other clubs are saying how Rice is developing going forward this year. Now, I don't think Rice should go forward too much so that he's on the edge of the box all the time for shots and that. I personally don't think his shooting ability is that good. I know, it looks good, but I think, especially recently, I've been looking at other players that play in a similar position to him that are just so much better at striking the ball. I think Rice needs someone that does do those things that I said next to him, so that Rice can just be that player that picks up the ball, drives it forward if we're attacking, and then lays it off to a player with more technical ability, for shooting or for the final pass. Because even though everyone's saying, I think Rice could become a good box to box, I think he can be, but
Mm.
I do think if he really focuses himself on becoming a really good defensive midfielder, who then every now and then bombs up to progress the team forward, I like that. I don't like it too much when he has shots because I don't think he's
You want
shooting.
him to be, if anything, you want Declan Rice to be like a Yaya Toure type player. That's what you want him to be.
Not really, no, because Yaya Toure, had more shots and scored loads of goals. I don't think Rice has got that in his locker,
But
unfortunately. I think he can.
He did start off as a DM though. Yaya.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
know, but Yaya still scored quite a few goals, and his
Mm.
final pass was was unbelievable.
I don't know, Mitch. I don't know. I think when Deck goes forward, there is an element of class there. Like
Yeah, yeah. In terms of
he
driving forward,
yeah,
and and then he lays it off, and he does. That's what he's great at. I just
yeah.
don't think his final bit is quite there yet. Especially when you look at
Mm.
other players, like Fabinho scores quite a few goals. Rodri, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, I just think he needs to kind of keep doing what he's doing. Maybe not take
Mm.
as many shots, but in the next season, if we can have someone that's really suitable as a box-to-box midfielder next to Rice, he can
Mm.
play more that role.
So,
And not
so
that name is not Souček.
So if, for instance, let me throw this out there. Say if West Ham go 4-3-3 next year,
Hmm.
do you just want Declan Rice sitting there as your DM, or do you want him to go
Yeah.
forward with?
No,
Would
obviously go
you?
forward and do every now and then. If you're really struggling, get the game by the scruff of the neck.
Mm,
Really sit on that edge of the box and kind of spray the passes wide and that. Maybe you have the
yeah.
occasional shot on goal. I don't mind that. But I think he's so good defensively
Mm.
that if we can just really build an attack, because I think that's maybe what's lacking,
I think
especially
he's one of
this
the.
calendar year
I think he's one of the best DMs in the world,
in the
mate.
world.
Yeah,
I think defensively,
yeah,
he's maybe the best in the world.
mm,
I'm not just saying that maybe Casemiro is better, but defensively, I think Rice is like no one gets past him. He's tackling his interceptions. He reads the game so
yeah,
well. I just think other DMs out there that are maybe world class like Kimmich, uh,
mm,
Rodri, and Fabinho. Maybe slightly better going forward. Not
mm,
driving forward, but I think in the style of play, in terms of like the final passes, the shots, because the goals that the other DMs get and assists are a lot more than what Rice gets. And you
mm,
could argue that it's down to down to the club that he plays at. But
mm.
I don't know. I would love for a 4-3-3 system next year. Exactly how City play, really, with that four three
Yeah,
three, and then it's like exact same style that Rodri plays. Doesn't
mm,
really gets forward when he has to, but
mm,
just shields, just bridges that
mm.
gap between midfield and attack, and he just sits there and just controls the game. Because I think that's where it could be. Or if we do play a 4-2-3-1 next season, then
I
maybe
think I think the 4-2-3-1 is dead for me.
yeah.
I think today, like before we move on, I think today proved it, mate. Like the first half, we play a 4-3-3 and we look very, very good. Second half,
Mm.
we play a 4-2-3-1. Then let's be honest, what did we really create in the second half? Not a lot. Not a lot with a
Yeah,
four two three one.
I still thought we played good in the second half. I just think we toned it down because we didn't really need
Yeah,
to go forward as much, and we were just kind of
but
playing the ball about.
I just think 4-3-3 in like a centre forward and two inside forwards. I think we're laughing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
But
agree, and I think Rafinha would be exceptional at West Ham. As someone just said there, I'd absolutely love Rafinha.
sign him
It's
up, mate.
exactly what we need.
100%. Moving on to this man, Pablo Fornals.
Pablo 4
I'm,
nils.
I'm going to let you go first on this one. What you think on Pablo, mate? Because I'm mixed on him, really.
I think he's well overhyped by a fan base, and
Mm,
I do stand by that unless he changes it. I don't know. I just think he hasn't really. Just don't light it up. He don't light up games for me. He hasn't done that for a while. Um, and I can't help. I know everyone says, "Oh, he's gonna get better." He's young still. We don't get the Spain squad for nothing. I just look at other midfielders out there. Like, I'm not trying to say he's on the same level, but I still look at players like De Bruyne, Ericsson for Brentford, and I just see them the way they
mm,
control the game, the passing range. Uh, you know, the fact that they're quicker on the ball, they drive forward better. They score more goals. I just can't help but think we could do better than Fornals, mate. I think there's players out there that could play in that position just behind the striker
Mm.
that would do a better job. I think he's decent.
Yeah.
But that's about it, mate. Really, I think he's just a decent player, but nothing more. Like, I'd keep him West Ham 100%, and
Mm.
maybe if he improves, happy days. But at the moment, especially today, like just didn't really do anything. He don't control the game really. His passing was pretty shit. Like gave the ball away. For example, he should have scored a goal.
Yeah.
That's one. He gave the ball away for that Pookie chance where he went 1-on-1 with Fabianski with that sloppy, shitty pass.
Mm.
And for someone that's passing, it's supposed to be so great. Then why is he not like getting loads of assists or making big chances happen? Or why is he making so many sloppy passes recently?
Is he in
Because
the
he's
wrong?
just
Is he in the wrong position though, Mitch? That's the question that
I
they're.
think in a free midfield I think he'd be better in,
Yeah,
you know.
I've always said that. I've always said on this channel, ever since I started doing this channel, I don't class Pablo Fornals as a left-sided attacker. I
Yeah, but
always class him.
he still played as just behind a striker today, He
I
still
don't.
played
I don't think.
centrally.
Nah, he played 4-3-3. He was in the midfield with Lanzini and
Yeah,
Rice
that's
in
what
the
I'm saying.
first half.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he still played centrally though.
yeah, yeah. But I
And he
feel
still was shit, I thought.
but when we do that 4-2-3-1 system,
Mm,
yeah, that left-hand side is covered because I believe, and I've always said this, and this is not because of Cresswell.
mm.
Um, he's over there to back up Cresswell against pace. Anyone who's pacey
Yeah,
against Cresswell, he's
yeah,
over there.
100%. Yeah,
Do you know what I'm
imagine we had
saying?
someone very dynamic and athletic at left back
Yeah.
instead of Cresswell. Then I
Mm.
think Fornals would do better. I still wouldn't play him on the left though, but he would do
If I
better.
if I someone was put something in the chat there, which I've got to make them right. If you had a choice
What do they say?
between Pablo Fornals or James Ward-Prowse, who would you have? They're both midfielders.
That is not even a question. For me, Ward Prowse any day of the week. And I would scrape my bollocks along 20 millions of spiky concrete for that to happen as well. Because I think Ward Prowse is 10 times the player as Fornals, 100%. And
There you
Ericsson,
go.
I'd love Ericsson at West Ham. Oh,
Mm.
similar position. I think that'd be fantastic.
What did you think of him today, though, Mitch? In regards of today, what would you rate him?
6.
See, I know what you're saying. See, I can understand what you're saying.
I can't say 7 because he wasn't
Yeah,
good. I don't think he was good. I'd think 6. Yeah.
I'm gonna say because we won and we won convincingly. I can't give him a 6. I can't. I just can't. Like, there's no way. Like, this is coming from me, and I'm not his biggest fan. So, I'm gonna give him a 7. Yeah, I understand totally what you're saying. I want to see him in the midfield though. I want to see him like. I don't think he's a 10. I think he's too slow. I don't think he's a left-sided player, but I do like him in a three-man midfield. Now, if next season it was Fornals, Rice, and say Calvin Phillips, that's not too bad. That's hard
Yeah, that would make
working.
me wet. Yeah, I'd
Yeah,
love that.
that's quite a sexual midfield three. Let's be honest.
It is. It
Right.
is.
Do you know what I'm saying? So if it goes like that, I can understand it with Fornals. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
If it's a 4-2-3-1 and he's a left-sided attacker, I'm
Or even
sorry, but
central attacker, I don't think he's quite good enough either. I think he's
I,
only good
yeah,
in the free midfield for me.
I think he's good from deep. I've always said that he's good
Yeah,
from like deep and then spraying the passes for lively wingers to get down there. I've always said that.
100%, 100%.
Do you know what
Because
I
he
mean?
still means
So
good. There's no point of him being up front or in a good attacking positions because he don't
yeah,
score fuck all. In the shootings, last season especially when he got himself in so many good positions, he fluffed so many shots last season.
I agree, mate. I agree. Moving on though to this man, Manuel Lanzini scored the penalty, Mitch, to make it 4-0 to the Irons. Assess his performance today because I thought he was
Excellent.
excellent. Yeah, I was just going to say it. Look at words right in my mouth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought there were some players out there that were very good today. He's
Mm.
one of them. Yeah, very good. I thought him and Rice together were exceptional. I thought they were on the same wavelength as I already covered. 1-2 pass, didn't give the ball away either. Defensively, got stuck in. I love that as well. Done 10 times more Souček's done all season. Very good, very good. And you know what? I really want people who lick Souček's bum to just see the difference. A player like Lanzini, not necessarily Lanzini, But a player like Lanzini can make, alongside Rice, someone who is more willing to go forward and link up the play better than Steve Soucek.
But let me ask you this though, Mitch. Does the system today make him look better? Because for me, the system in the first half made us look 10 times better. That 4-3-3.
I still thought second half it was very good though.
I think second half, attacking wise, I know we had changes and I know the game was done, but it was night and day for me. That second half.
Yeah, in terms of the team overall, but I still thought Lanzini kept his performance up.
Yeah.
So I thought defensively he's still done well. And
yeah,
I thought he was good all game, mate. And the fact he scored a penalty as well probably gives him an extra point. So
what did
you give him a 9? Oh, you know what? I'm gonna. I don't know. Can't. 9. Fuck it, 9. I'm giving Lanzini a high rating. 9.
He's given Lanzini a 9 out of 10.
Very low 9. It's just a 9.
For me, it's a high 8. It's just not a 9 for me. I think he was excellent. He was good. He's been a lot better, let's be honest, since like the last few weeks. Last few weeks, I think he's been quite shocking. But today,
look at the comment.
He was up there, and he was there. Let's have a look. What we got?
Dun.
I don't understand that one. I really don't, but it is what it is. Lanzini gets a high 8 from me, gets a 9 from Mitchell. Moving on.
Started reading, I was like, oh yeah, I'm licking my lips, and all of a sudden it said Benny. I was like, oh no.
Anyway, let's move on to this man, Saeed Benrahma. Scores 2 goals today, Mitchell. Everyone wants him out the door, but I will keep on this bandwagon of Benrahma in instead of Benrahma out campaign. What do you think of him today, mate?
Good. He was good. Yeah, much better today. I thought, his confidence was, risen. I think the fact that we were playing a poor team helped.
Yeah.
And it's not because we played a poor team that they struggled with him. It was purely because, for me, his confidence was up. And because his confidence was up, because he was playing a worse team, that's why he played better. Not the fact that they were worse. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Can I ask you something, Mitch? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard this comment on social media all this afternoon. Yeah. And I've got to mention it on these player ratings tonight. All I keep seeing is, Benny done well against a championship defence, right? But he scored goals against all these other teams, but they don't get a bloody mention for some crazy reason. So,
and Fornals for me was shit today. That didn't get a mention. Vlasic when he came on. Well, we'll talk about that when the player rating comes up. And that's it really.
What would you rate him today? Because I know what I'm giving him.
I'd give him a 9. First half, he was excellent, superb, 9 rating. Probably second half, probably was an 8. Didn't get involved anywhere near as much really. Slightly sloppier. Go away, I think a couple passes and wasn't as sharp. But purely for the first half performance, and for me, I would have given the pen to Benrahma.
Do you know what? You just brought up something. You just brought up something there, which brings me on to that. When people say about this man's got an ego, they say, "Oh, he's got an ego. He needs to get out. He thinks this." That proves to me today that boy's got no ego whatsoever. He's got no. He had no intentions of taking that penalty off Lanzini, right? And Lanzini felt sorry for him after, if anything, because he scored the goal and he was like. He was the first one to embrace him.
Benny was so happy for him. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Benny was so happy for him.
Yeah. 100%. 100% on that. And that I see a quote on Twitter from someone, I can't remember the geezer's name off the top of my head, right? But the quote was, the best thing about Benrahma today was in not even making a fuss about scoring his hat-trick. And let's be honest, he's in his... If that's Mikel Antonio, and I'm sorry, I don't care what anyone says, that's Mickey, he's wrestling Lanzini for that ball. 100% because he wants, and I know it for a fact. I'll get to my rating now. I'm giving this boy a 9, mate. I've had to put up with a lot of stick from a lot of people over Saeed Benrahma this season, but I'm sorry, when you play him in his natural position, which is not a 4-2-3-1, a wide man on the byline, you play him as an inside forward. you get the best of Saeed Benrahma. I think the first goal is a good goal. It's lucky, but it's decent. It's good. Like, he has a shot. He takes deflection. You don't shoot.
Exactly.
You don't
You
score.
can't score goals if you don't have shots.
Yeah, but the second goal is top class. Like,
Yeah,
there's no
superb. Gets in a
yeah,
good position. Positioned himself very well. Didn't stand at the back post as well, which is what he is likely to do. Let's be real. He does do that a bit too often. He doesn't get in the box enough. And he did. He got into a very good position there.
And you've got to be honest, it's a great first time
great
hit,
finish.
isn't it?
Oh, fantastic, fantastic.
So for me, he gets a 9, mate. And I think it's very well deserved. The only thing I will say before I move on to the next player is that I just like to see the fan base give him a bit of a break. Like, I see people today still slagging him off, saying, "Well, he scored 2 goals against Norwich." Like, what's he got to do? Has he got to go and score 6 goals or something now to the end of the season? The problem is,
I don't get it, mate. Personally,
yeah. The thing is with Saeed Benrahma, yeah, he's had a better season than he had last season. He's now scored 8 goals. I think he's got 6 assists. Last season, he scored one goal and he got 6 assists last season. I know that due to fucking being the stat man that I am. But the problem is, people still want this man at the door. I just don't understand it. I really, really don't. Does he need to improve? Of course he does. But they all need to improve. Mickey has to improve.
His crossing still needs to improve massively.
Yeah,
I think as well.
I just don't think he's a winger though, Mitch. That's the problem.
If he plays an inside forward, then like he done today, then 100%. But if you're still playing that position, there are still times where you do have to cross it in when you've got no other option. Like he did today, I think he put 1 cross in today, and it was poor. It was really bad.
Yeah, it was bad. I must admit, but I just don't. I've never classed him as a winger. He's more of an inside forward, if anything. So
like a player that rotates with the forwards. Yeah.
Exactly,
like Bowen, really. Exactly like Bowen.
Exactly like Bowen, but obviously Bowen's come on leaps and bounds. And let's get to the man of the moment, which is JB, Jared Bowen. And for me, he is hammer of the year for me by a country mile. I know everyone's going to say Deck.
Really?
Yeah. Mate, where would we be? He's got 10 goals, 10 assists in the Prem this year, Mitch. Where would we
be without Rice?
I understand that, mate. I get it. Don't get me wrong. Rice is world class. Yeah. And we all know what Rice is, but where Jared Bowen's come from the start of the season, when he couldn't hit a barn door, to now, you've got to give him some sort of credit.
Missed a big opportunity today, didn't he?
I know. But he did assist 3 goals today, Mitch.
He's my man of the match, so I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah. I know you're trying to troll me on here, but
it's playing devil's advocate. That's all. Yeah, trying to be like Phil McClock and Epic Hash Time and Eastside Jews and all that. Sorry.
Give me your thoughts on JB today, mate.
Exceptional for me. His best performance this calendar year, and I know it's only Norwich, but I thought his all-round performance today was superb. His passing was so good today. I thought, the way, the little dink over top balls like Benrahma and players like that. His position was good. He just dropped a bit deeper today, and played more central. It was like almost like an attacking midfielder. Because when Coufal went forward, it was never down the wing. He was always in the inside, looking for the pass to come inside, and then he'd play it to another player. I thought it was exceptional. Got the assist for the Antonio one. Got a bit lucky for that. Obviously, a bit of a lucky assist because it wasn't the greatest weighted pass, but he still turned and drove at the defence and then played the pass, which is good.
Has he surprised you though? Has he surprised you this year, though, Mitch? Because I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. Right, at the start of the season, I was backing Bowen to score goals week in, week out. West Ham, yeah. The fucking geezer was hitting everything other than the back of the net. And I'll never forget it. Yeah. There was a game, I think I've said it on this channel before. There was a game at Wolves away this season, yeah, where I backed him again. And I was like, if he doesn't do it this time, I'm not backing him for the rest of the season. And he missed an absolute sitter at Wolves away. We lost the game 1-0. And I went, right, I'm never backing him again this season.
I remember that.
And ever since then, he
scored a goal, wasn't he?
He scored goal. I'm like, fuck's sake. He kept doing it. But I've got to admit, earlier on, I disagreed with you about Bowen. Now I agree with you. I've seen it back and I think, well, fuck me, he got 3 assists and he was absolutely amazing, really, deep down.
I think, I haven't watched Match of the Day in a long time because, I don't know, I just haven't been too interested. But because I enjoyed the game so much today, and, obviously, I know when we've got wins this calendar year specifically, It's been very, scraped wins and not the greatest performances. We've just about won it. We've beaten a poorer side, etc. But today, it was a game I really enjoyed, and I cannot wait to watch Match of Day today. And you watch Bowen today on Match of Day, he'll fucking. Trust me, no need for porn up tonight. You've got Match of the Day.
So you're giving him what rating, Mitch? What
I'm giving him a 9. My man of the match. I'm giving him a 9 today.
I thought Benny was. I'd give Benny my man of the match for what amount of shit he has to put up with. But I've got to admit, I'm going to say a 9 with you also. Getting 3 assists. He did get booked in the first half. That's the only negative on it. Other than that, he was absolutely first class. So, and the thing is, he is my hammer of the year because when I look at him and where he's come from, Declan's been world class for the last few years. Let's be honest, and we've all known it. Obviously, it's only because the outside fan base haven't.
I don't know. I think it's been great, but I think this year is just. I think Rice has been world class this year. I don't think the previous years was world class. I think because he's gone forward a bit more, he's added more dynamics to his game. I think because world class is a big statement. World class is saying you're one of the best defensive midfielders in the world.
But he is.
He is now. That's what I'm saying. He's world class now.
Yeah.
Last year, I would have still put like Kante, Fabinho, Rodri, Kimmich, Busquets, Casemiro.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of defensive midfielders I would have put before him. Now, I don't know. I would have put, I put him ahead of a few of them.
Yeah, I listen. It's an easy way of looking at it. You can either go Bowen for the season that he's had, or Declan Rice. Obviously, I love Declan.
James Bowen. Oh my God, I read it wrong. So he said yes, James Bowen. I thought he meant yes, James Bowen. I was like, who the fuck is James Bowen?
Listen, I agree with you on that comment, and he has grown Bowen this year. He really, really has. It'd be interesting to see though, Mitch, what he's like next season. Like, what? Because I hope he's saying just a one season. He's had a blast of it this season, and then he's going to go back to the JB.
I think he'll do well next season. I do. I think hopefully Danny Dyer can give him a kid, and that entices him to stay even more. 100%. Because I'll tell you what, if I hope she rips that condom off him once, and then she said, "Put a baby in me now," and then he doesn't have an excuse to go to Liverpool or something, and he's got to stay in London.
Fair enough, mate. People know trying to trap the geezer. Anyway, let's move on to this man, Mikel Antonio. And before we start, please do like the video. If you're watching, 35 people watching, please do like the video. And if you are new around here, please do subscribe to the channel. It goes a long way. I'll try and do some realistic content. So if you like that sort of stuff, please do subscribe. Anyway, let's get back to this rating. Mikel Antonio, Mitch, hasn't scored a Premier League goal since January the 1st, I think it is. And now he's back in action. He scores and he's injured.
Yeah, fucking hell. I mean, I think it's only a niggle. It's only like wind. Yeah. It's only winded badly, I think. So I think he's fine. Besides with the goal, pretty quiet. One of our quieter players, done fairly well for the goal. He made the goal for himself really in terms of barging the players all over the place and that. I don't know, mate. I'll give him a 7. He got the goal. There's not more I can say really. He done all right. Gave him a 7. I'll give him a 7.
I'm going to give him a high 7 because he scored the goal because he was persistent in what he was doing. The only thing with Mickey that sometimes irritates me is just it's the control of the man. Like the man's control is just all over the place. So yeah, I'll give him a high 7. The way I look at it with Mickey at present is basically, do you want him as your first choice striker next year? And the answer to that for me is absolutely not. I want him at the club. I think he's been a great servant for West Ham. I like him to a point. But do I want him first choice?
I think he can be great as a winger when he comes on as an impact sub. I think he can be really good.
I just think West Ham have to go a grade up. Do you know what I mean? And
exactly.
If we do,
and I'm not saying with you, James, and I think me and you have agreed. There's quite a few players at the club where
100%.
People lick their bumhole. For example, Souček. There's no way Souček is. There's no way anyone, if you can back Souček or whatnot, there is no way anyone in their right mind, any West Ham fan can say to yourself, Souček is a player that I think can take West Ham to the next level. That's fucking bollocks. Rice, Bowen, potentially Benrahma, Zouma. These are players I want to see at a club and take us forward. Souček ain't that player. Not in a
Mm.
million years. So when you want to back Souček, I look at it and I look as a project at West Ham because Moyes has always said he wants to build West Ham,
But
and
when
I
you look
think
at
he can.
Antonio, though,
Yeah,
there's got to be an upgrade on Antonio next year. Now,
exactly. Same for me. Same with Cresswell. I know Dawson's having a great season, but Dawson, Souček,
yeah,
even Fornals, I think there's players out there which can massively upgrade our team that we can get. And I'm not saying I want like De Bruyne and all that. I'm just saying,
mm,
anyone I think
mm.
would do better. Mitch, do you forget how good Souček was last season? For fuck's sake.
Chill out, Mitch. Let me give my rating. I'm gonna. I think I have given it already. A high 7 for me. I think he was good, but I just think like he scored a good goal. It's just the control with me that irritates me sometimes. Do you know what I mean? And what did you give him? Just a standard 7, was it?
Yeah, 7. And I think next season I'd like him to take a squad role. I think he'd be good as a sub.
Yeah,
I think he'd be very good against the smaller teams where they'd struggle against him, like in cup games or Europa Conference League games and the qualification rounds.
yeah.
Um,
Which is fair
yeah,
enough, Mitch, isn't it? Let's be honest.
yeah,
Anyway, let's move.
and he'll still be getting a lot of game time because we'll be
100%
in
he will, mate.
four competitions actually.
100%. Let's move on to the subs. Start with this man, Yarmolenko. Mitch, give me a quick rating for him. Didn't do a lot for me.
To be fair, like, I actually thought the touches that he done, when he did that, pass the ball and touch the ball, didn't do anything wrong. I'd just
Mm,
give him a rating because he didn't really do anything of significance. But his passing was right, his first touch was right. Done a few little, uh, what's the word? Skillful passes,
yeah,
which all came off. But besides, I don't know. It's hard to give him a rating. I'll give him a 6. 6
yeah,
is fair.
yeah. I think I'll give him a 6 and all. I'd like it's a standard rating, really. Like 5. I think a 5 is a bit harsh. We won the game. He gets a 6. Moving on to this man,
And
though,
also, I
Mark.
was going to say, when like Yarmolenko leaves at the end of the season, I've got nothing but good things to say about him. I know everyone, cunts him off because of the wage and that, but
Yeah,
he had a big wage at Dortmund. It's not his fault that he's on a big wage now. That he's not as good as what he used to be.
we would like to be on that big wage. I must admit.
Exactly. I know everyone cuts him off for that, but he's
Yeah,
still, he's given us good moments. Maybe if it wasn't for him, we might
yeah.
not be still in the Premier League because that massive goal against Chelsea. You never know.
I
So
always say that goal against Chelsea 2 years ago is the goal that kept us up. People were saying today, we beat Norwich 2 years ago 4-0 when Antonio
exactly, but
scored
that game
4.
was before that, and that was a
Yeah,
massive goal.
and that game against Chelsea was huge. Like if we don't win that game,
Mm.
right, would we have had the confidence to go on and beat Norwich and beat these other teams like Watford and get the draw against Villa? I don't believe we would have done. So that game against Chelsea was a springboard, and Yarmolenko scored the winning goal. So whatever happens at the end of the season, I wish him well, whatever he does in life. Do you know what I mean? Have I liked him like in regards to his West Ham career? I ain't gonna lie. I think he's stole a living like 55,
Yes, yeah,
60% of it. But the other 40%, he has helped us out. So
exactly. And he hasn't ever moaned. I know he's on been big wage, so it's hard for him to moan. But yeah, he's always tried when he's come on. He's never been like lazy. He's we
he's
know his
tried.
stamina ain't great. But he has
He has
tried
tried,
exactly. He has
but he's
tried,
tried
and you know
badly.
what? He's come with big goals. He's had some good moments this
Yeah,
season as well, and
yeah.
I think he could actually do right for someone maybe in the Serie A for like a season or two. So I wish him all the
100%, mate.
best.
Moving on though to this man, Mr. Mark Noble. Mate, it's going to be a sad day next Sunday when he decides to leave at the end of the season. His final game at the LS. What can I say about Mark Noble that ain't already been said? When people say about he's not a legend, I'm sorry, but he's a modern day legend amongst
He is.
fans.
Oh, he's a
Yeah,
legend for me. He's a
he is,
legend.
mate. He's a
100%.
fucking legend. That boy has had to go through hell at West Ham, literally hell. Like
He has.
from the Icelandics to relegations to FA Cup heartache to playoff heartache to
Burnley.
like
Burnley at
getting
home.
getting relegated, Burnley at home, fucking you name it. He's had to go through everything. And listen, he bleeds carrot and blue. That's the difference, and he's a fan. Like the first and foremost, that boy supports the club, and then West Ham is like his job basically. He's been excellent this year.
Yeah.
And for me, it's going to be a sad day. It's going to be an emotional day for me personally because I've grown up. He's the same age as me. I've grown up watching Mark Noble.
No, I have as well. But when I first started watching West Ham,
yeah,
that's when he was young. I've kind of grown up with him as well.
Mm.
In a different sense, and obviously you're more of a similar age to him. But me, in the
Yeah.
sense that that's when I first started getting into West Ham.
What did you like about him when you first see him?
I think obviously it was a bit quicker back then. He used to make himself a bit busier.
Yeah.
Than he does now. Obviously, his legs have completely gone. He's the slowest player I've ever fucking seen in my life. But
his passing range is still there.
His passing range was always good.
Yeah.
His switch balls was exceptional. We used to do them for fun all the time. He
Yeah.
used to score quite a few goals. Obviously, if he had a penalty, he'd always score penalties for us.
Mm.
Yeah,
I remember
him, Dean Ashton. Really, I did love Colton Cole, and obviously he got a bollocking all the time. But I was a bit young back then, so obviously I didn't look at players.
I look at it like this though, Mitch. I watched the game the other day. Yeah, I'll never forget this game. The West Ham 3, Spurs 4 game at the Upton Park when they scored at the death, and Noble scored the first goal. Tevez scored his first goal, and it was a great escape season. And for me, when that boy was crying on the pitch at 19 years old, it means something to him. And every West Ham fan can relate to Mark Noble. And if you can't relate to Mark Noble, then there's something wrong because he feels how we feel. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. When he cries, I don't cry personally, but I feel like crying.
Yeah. Mate, listen, I'm not going to be afraid.
I adore the bloke.
Yeah.
And I got his signature when I was younger, and then I remember this. I was with my two cousins. We got his signature, and we missed a few players out, and then we went back the next day, and he came out again. And I said, "Come on a picture." I done you boys yesterday, and the fact that he remembered us, we went absolutely crazy just for the fact that he said that.
Yeah.
And I briefly spoke to him because my dad previously, I think a couple of months before that, sold him a car, so we had a little chat about that, and I was only young at the time. But
nice.
Phil McCott, look at him, he's back.
Listen,
what's delusional? If you actually told him, what's delusional about these views, Phil?
Right. Listen,
at the end of the
fucking
40-year-old grown man. You probably got 2 kids, you silly cunt.
Mitch, will you calm down for a second? Let me finish. Right. I just feel that Noble is a modern day legend at West Ham. He hasn't won nothing, but what he's had to go through, he deserves some sort of respect.
Oh, 100%.
Like, 100%. Do you know what I mean? He's not on par with Colton Cole. Don't get me wrong. Colton was a good servant at West Ham. He's up there. He's up there with some of the players who's played for West Ham from start.
100%.
Yeah. People like Julian Dix, who's played for West Ham for years.
Yeah, but obviously it's not just the on-pitch things that he's done and the amount of appearances. It's the fact that we know how much a fan he is, and he's probably the biggest West Ham fan that's probably ever played for our club. I'd say he's up there, and so he's always given us great speeches. He's pulled us through the hardest times. When we lost at Burnley. He tried. It must have been so hard. I think I remember seeing interviews maybe a couple of years ago where he spoke about it. He spoke about how it was tough times, but he pulled us through it. And the fact Rice has got so much respect for him, he says it all because Rice is a player that's highly respected. And the fact that he's got so much respect for Noble, and he said that he wanted to win the other night for Nobes.
Yeah,
that says it all. And I absolutely adore this man. Player rating for today though. Just because it's Nobes, I'll give him a 7.
I'll give him a high 7. I'm going to say this about Mark Noble, and you've heard it here first on E20 Zone TV. If I'm still alive in 10 years' time, then this will happen.
I hope you are, James.
Well, I'm going to say this: in 10 years' time, Mark Noble will be the manager of West Ham United Football Club, and Declan Rice will come back and play for Mark Noble. You've heard it here first. 100%.
Do you not reckon Rice will stay then? You reckon he'll leave?
I reckon Rice will go, become great, and then finish his career back at West Ham.
That would be magical, wouldn't it?
And I can see him coming back with if Mark is in charge. So one thing I can say is Mark does take his badges and wants to learn the game of being a manager. He's future West Ham manager for me. 100%. The way that man conducts himself, the morals of the man, the respect, the values of people, and like being a gentleman, basically. Do you know what I mean?
But the fact he's got that 100%. Passion and that hunger is so important to become, a manager. And I really hope that He
Mm.
can, and I hope that he can stay at West Ham for a couple more years in terms of behind the scenes role, maybe as like a coach for the under 21s, learn off David Moyes, maybe as a side coach, as a
Yeah,
assistant,
yeah,
um, and then go from there. Maybe like manage a League One or Championship club, and hopefully earn his colours, or whatever you call it, earn your
yeah.
badges or whatever,
Stripes. Yeah,
earn your stripes. That's it, and then hopefully one day he'll be manager of West Ham. And that would be magical. And I'll be there as like a 35-year-old man or something. It'd be crazy.
35-year-old man, man. I'm 35 now, mate. You make me feel old, bro.
Oh, sorry, fucking hell.
Anyway, let's move on. Mark, you've been great, son. Moving on to this man, Nikola Vlasic. I don't know where to start on this one. I really don't. I keep seeing people, Mitch, on social media keep saying he's going to come good. This man's going to come good all of a sudden. I've not seen it for months, and I'm not. I'm going to be honest here because I like to be honest on this channel. I think
Sell him.
he's a fucking waste of money.
Yeah.
Absolute waste of money. I think he hasn't done anything. And people saying it's 12 million. I see earlier on that West Ham have paid for him. The fee that is an all-inclusive package is £33.5 million. That's including qualifying for Europe, appearance fees, goals, everything. Anything in this package is 33.5 million. He's done nothing this season, and people are telling me he's going to come good. What do you think on Nikola Vlasic, mate?
Oh, I completely agree with you. I think he's absolutely pony, and I don't care what people could say. People can try and say he's become good. There is no way if he does improve, fair play, but he's never ever going to get to a point. I'm 100% sure. I'd bet thousands of pounds that there is no way he's going to get to a very good level where I'm going to say he should be starting for us every game. That's not going to happen. So for me, I may be harsh. I would sell him in summer, get as much money as I can now. Because if he stays another season, his value is going to go down even more. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
His value will go down even more. Sell him in the summer, get maybe 18 million for him, and then reinvest it, because I just can't. I just think we've got so many players that are similar to him that are better. Lanzini, Fornals, Benrahma, all quite similar.
I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you this, yeah. And I want this is something for everyone in the chat. So everyone who's watching, I've got 39 people watching. It was just 40, but it's now 39. This is something for you. I want you to name me Vlasic's best game this season for West Ham United Football Club.
And his best game, sorry about shit. His best game wasn't even great. It was good, but it wasn't great. And I thought from there, okay, kick on now, and he hasn't. So yeah, just not a. It's just.
And what was that best game for you?
Was it Leeds? Wasn't it?
Well, Leeds, Leeds reserve team in the FA Cup. No, you can't. I agree. He was good in that game. I think the best game I've seen Vlasic play was in Seville in the first leg. I thought, that was the game where I thought, you know what? Yeah, he looked half decent. He had a golden chance.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean? Fair play. I don't honestly, truthfully remember that.
Ian says here, yeah. Ian says here, Southampton on Boxing Day. That was shit. And don't forget, I just want to say this, right? And I don't want to keep bringing up Said Benrahma, yeah. But Said was off for the whole, or near enough the whole of January, and Vlasic played. Vlasic played against Norwich. He played against Watford. He played against Leeds. He played against Manchester United. He played against Leeds.
He's had minutes. He's had minutes, mate.
Yeah, he's been poor, mate.
Didn't have many minutes last season, and he came on. He made the most of it. He got the assist. He looked dangerous. That's just done fuck all. And let's not say, it's always his first season. Players come better in his second season. Each player that's played, like Benrahma and Bowen, when they played in their first seasons, they still showed something. I'll tell
you what. Before I get to my rating and your rating, if he has to improve next year, he has to improve literally 1,000%, in my opinion, because he's done nothing really.
Sorry, would you say, James? Sorry, I was just look at the comments there. Would you say, James?
He's going to have to improve 1,000%, isn't he? Let's be honest.
No, I'd sell him. Get out the door.
Fair enough, Mitch. Give me a rating for him, Mitch.
5. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to give him a 5-0. Standard performance yet again from him. Do you know what I mean? 5 it is. Moving on to the final 2 ratings of the evening, which is this, and this man is up first, the ref. I thought he was all right, the ref today, Mitch. What do you think?
What was it at the start where he gave a card? Um,
Bowen?
yeah, it was quite harsh, wasn't it?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
I thought that was quite
It
harsh.
was.
Yeah, I
But
wouldn't
what it
give him a
was,
yellow.
he handballed it, then he fouled the geezer. So he's literally asking for it, isn't he? So,
Yeah, but I don't think that warrants a warning, though. In the middle of the
yeah,
pitch.
yeah,
I think it was slightly harsh. Besides from that, I thought he kept the game ticking well. I think it did help that we was very good and clean today. And we played. It was like we weren't
proper
getting stuck
football.
in too much. It was just really
Yeah,
good football. So there wasn't too many like controversial decisions. It got obviously he went back to the VR, got the decision right. That was a penalty. I'd give
yeah.
him an 8. I'd give him an 8. I thought it was good. And I will
Mm,
say one thing. I do, and I might get massive backlash from West Ham thing, and I think you might disagree with me on this.
yeah.
But I do think when I see a lot of them, especially on West Ham Fan TV, people that come on, um, I think a lot of our fans, and for me too many, do blame the ref for our results and performances. When I think we need to be, I think we try and point away from really shocking performances and point at the ref sometimes. I get it.
Mm.
Sometimes the refs do occasionally have shockers, and do that does change, that does shape the game sometimes. But I still think there's so many games this season where I've seen all the fingers be pointing at refs, and I thought, hold on, if the
Mm.
ref was different, we still wouldn't have won that game because we were fucking shit. And I
So,
still think
yeah,
I
I
still
can
think
slightly
West Ham
agree
fans,
with you.
I do see a lot, especially I think it was it last week,
Yeah,
and I watched one of them and it was blaming the ref, and I thought, oh come on, we were fucking shocking. I think it was Arsenal. I think it was.
yeah,
Yeah, it was the game I didn't go to. Right? It was Arsenal. My game I didn't go to, and
yeah.
I was seeing like everyone blaming the referee. And I thought, oh come on, like the game had nothing to do with the referee.
I think
Like
I think
we
the
were just
referee
shit.
can be. I think the referee can be an easy excuse. Don't get me wrong. I
Yeah,
agree.
exactly. It can be an
Yeah,
excuse because as fans, we want to back our players, we want to back our team,
yeah,
and I get that. But I think if you want to be realistic, like me and you are, James, we're quite
mm.
realistic in how we want to see West Ham progress. I think so many fans just do like to point away from the players as an excuse.
I agree. Like, I'm about 75% agree with you. The only 25% that I do say is sometimes I do think that decisions for the big boys do get they do get the certain decisions at the right time. Like I see a game the other week, for instance,
I
Everton
agree.
versus
I do agree.
Everton, Liverpool, Everton, Liverpool, and Gordon's going through, gets brought down. It's a blatant penalty, but he don't give it.
Yes,
But and
yes.
if it's
And other
Salah,
times for
yeah, if
top
it's Salah
six,
up,
they've given it,
if
haven't
that's Salah up the other end against Keane, that's a goal. Now for
they?
me,
100%. I agree.
I think the referee really is like a last resort if you're going to blame something. You shouldn't be blaming the referee first. You should be looking at the player's performance
Exactly,
first,
James.
and then
Exactly. Thank you.
and then and then coming to look at their performance, look at the manager, then look at the ref. And if the referee is
Oh,
bad,
bang on,
the ref,
James.
yeah, the ref would go first. For me, I thought the ref was decent today, mate. I'm going to give him an 8.
Yeah, same as
I
me.
thought he was excellent. Do you know what I mean? And he's what the only thing I would say he got a bit wrong is like he let the foul go with Benny, and Benny gets hacked down and he's out now, and he just lets it go on. There's another foul, I think. Antonio goes down and he just lets it go on, but other than that, I think he was pretty good. Anyway, moving on to the final
Well,
rating of
once
the
Mike
evening.
Dean gets out and he retires, that'll be
That
a
is
happy
it.
day. Mm.
Final rating of the evening. David Moyes. I liked that 4-3-3, Mitch.
I did.
I liked the attacking intent that he done. He had literally 5 attackers.
Mm.
It was like a 4-1-4, like one basically. It was just mental, like what he was doing. Really, do you know what I mean? What did you make of him today, Mr.
Oh, very
Moyes?
good. Very good. I'm so glad he dropped Suchek, and played a different system. It
Yeah,
suited us really well, and I think it suited us playing against Norwich today because we had to be quicker, more dynamic going forward, mix it up a bit, which we did. James, would you play Lanzini or Soucek against City next week? I personally would play Lanzini next twice.
I think if you're going to do it, it's an hard one with me because
I get the reasons for both sides here, by the way, because obviously
yeah,
it's a harder team like City.
yeah, you've got to play 4-3-3 next week. You can't go 4-2-3-1 because we get overrun. And then Declan's running around like a nutter trying to save us. For me, it'd be 4-3-3, and I would play Fornals, Souček, and Rice in there. So you've got a bit of area. Lanzini for me he's just too slow against them type of against the lesser team. Lanzini's very good against the top teams. Lanzini not so much, but I would have Fornals, Souček, Rice. The only problem you got is if Benny's out, then you've got no attacker now. So Lanzini might have to go further forward. Do you know what I'm saying? But it has to be 4-3-3 for me. It has to be. There's I see enough in that first half. And I say Norwich, I'm not going to get giddy, but 4-3-3, we look slick. 4-2-3-1, we look too wide, and then we go wide, and then we're going back on ourselves because we've got no attacking threat. Do you know what I mean? When you've got three attackers running in a straight line towards the goal, anyone can pick anyone out. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. I thought Moyes got it bang on today, mate, if I'm honest. So
I do. Tactics were spot on. A few lapses in terms of the quality of performance, maybe like a couple spells. I think after 20 minutes, we dropped our standards a little bit and then we picked up again. But besides from that, I think we were so good. We are too obsessed with being good in the air. I agree. Then why do you back Souček all the time? Bit of a controversial thing there, you just said. You know, bit hypocritical. I thought I'm giving a 9 today, mate.
Yeah.
I will say, if I was manager, I don't give a fuck. I would not be putting Vlasic on the bench. I'll be putting Coufal on the bench. I'd rather see him get a chance for like 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. Or less, or Ashby. Give him a bit of minutes. You know, if we're 4-0 up against Norwich, why not? Why not test them? You know, it's a nothing game, really. We've won the game. Why not give these players a little go? We've seen what Vlasic has been able to do all season. He's given us fuck all. I'd rather see a bit of Coufal. So I think Coufal could do something.
I agree. I'm going to give Moyes a 9 today. I thought he got absolutely spot on today with that system. He could have played Souček today, but he's obviously seen something. What Mitchell's been saying for months, and he's seen it now. I liked it. When that team come out today, I see 4-3-3. I thought, wow, here we go. Right, I expect goals today.
Yeah.
And if West Ham couldn't score today with that attacking lineup, then we've got major problems. It's as simple as that. And we go and score 4 today. I like the 4-3-3 system. I always have done. I've said it on this channel multiple times that West Ham in a 4-2-3-1, we get overrun in midfield. The left side with Fornals isn't really, and he's not an attacker. He's an industrial midfielder, in my opinion. He gets about, breaks a play up, moves the ball further up the pitch like a Xavi. He reminds me of Xavi to a point, Fornals. That type of player. Picks the ball up, moves the ball forward, and that's it. Do you know what I mean? He's not an attacker though, is he? Though he's not an attacker though, is he? Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to say.
His skill on the ball ain't nowhere near Xavi level. His passing range.
Oh yeah, listen, I totally get that. Yeah, don't get me wrong, I totally understand that. But what I'm trying to say is, when he gets the ball, he moves that ball. All right, I want him to move the ball forward from deep because then it gives the attackers. I think when he's the attacker, he's going backwards all the time.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you know what I'm saying? Moyes masterclass today. It's a 9 out of 10 for me. The only thing I will say, I do agree with you on this about the youth, but me and you have discussed this on this channel multiple times. Yeah. David Moyes does not invest in the youth. You told me this about 3 months ago doing this channel.
Yeah,
come on this channel, mate.
Yeah,
and you said to me, he said, James, I'm telling you, he does not invest in the youth, mate. There's players that he just looks at sometimes and goes, nah. Do you know what I mean? I think it proves it the other day, like with Elise. Like we've got Frankfurt on Thursday, and he goes with Cresswell against Arsenal. Sorry, he goes with Cresswell and Fredericks as like a centre half and your left back. It is what it is, in my opinion. So yeah, we'll give him 9 out of 10. What you giving him? 9, Mitch?
9, yeah, 9.
9 out of 10. And that is it for the player ratings for
he brought
tonight.
Johnson through. No, he didn't.
He didn't bring Johnson through, mate.
That's Pellegrini, wasn't it?
That's Pellegrini.
Pellegrini came his debut, against City, I think it was.
The only
so stick that one up.
The only players that Moyes has sort of not brought through, but how can I say? not even developed to a point, is Ashby. Ashby's played a couple of games this year. Like he played against Arsenal away, he played against Tottenham, in the League Cup. Other than that, he hasn't really developed any other players from the youth for some crazy reason. I don't know why. Fair enough, they give the youth team players, the Zagreb game, but the game was a dead rubber, so it didn't really matter. Yeah. So it is a major thing with him, I must admit. And if he's not investing in the youth, I want to see Oko flex by the end of the season.
Oko flex on Gello, 100%, mate. 100%.
Even Neves, like he's scoring goals for fun in the under 23s.
Oh yeah, Tim Neves, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and he don't even get a look in. Do you know what I'm saying? Before we wrap up, Mitch, obviously, where are we finishing that? Because obviously
this is tough. We've got to be looking obviously over our shoulder at Wolves. I don't think as much as a threat because of who they've got coming up, teams wise. But we have got to be looking at Man United. They've got 2 games left now? Or one game
they've got. Man United,
one game. Sorry, Palace. And we've really got Palace can get a minimum of a draw, because if we can get a draw against City and then beat Brighton, we go ahead of them. But a Palace win is massive for us.
Yeah, but we've got 2 games now coming up. Yeah, the Manchester City game is going to be an hard game. I see them today. They went through Newcastle like a knife through butter. The only decent thing about Man City at present is they've got no centre halves. A couple of their centre halves are out now. Diaz went off the other day, today, and it's going to be interesting next week. And they've got a game in the week also. So they've got a game on the Wednesday.
Have they against them?
Yeah, they've got Wolves away on Wednesday. They've got us. Yeah, they've got us away on the Sunday at 2:00.
I still think the turn is over. They had a midweek game as well, though, and they still looked unbelievable today.
I've got to admit,
and they lost that game. They had heartbreak,
Yeah,
and for them to turn up like they did today.
So, what are you thinking then? Because let's be honest, we've got Brighton
3-0.
Right? I don't know. If
3-1. That's my prediction, actually.
Yeah, I think if we've got a week off and injuries go the right way for us, we might be able to nick a draw against this lot. Other than that,
they are superb though, James. They're like another level at the minute.
Yeah,
they're winning every game. They're playing superb.
For me,
they're the best. See it personally.
Them and Liverpool are the 2 best teams on the planet for me. By a country
at the
mile.
moment, 100%.
Yeah,
obviously I know they lost to Madrid, but I agree.
Yeah. I think the Madrid was just a freak result. Let's be honest.
Yeah, they bottled it. And they are known for bottling it in the Champions League.
So obviously, that's Man City, and then Mitch, our final game is Brighton away, mate. Yeah, and we have not beaten Brighton in the Premier League ever. Right? We have drawn against them loads of times, and at the Amex, we just don't win there. Right? That's one place we just do not win. What was the result
last season when Benrahma scored?
Benrahma 1-0, and that goal won us a point that helped us get into Europa League, because if I remember rightly, we was on 2 points and we was losing the game, and then Benny scored the goal. It got us to 3 points, and we ended up finishing above Spurs, I think it was, on goal difference, if I remember rightly. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure that is where it was. And I feel that the Brighton game, we have got to break that voodoo, mate. We have to break this fucking voodoo. I can't believe
they're looking good. They look great yesterday. I'm not gonna lie. I think some of their players are super. I'd love them at West Ham. Some of their players, mate.
Who would you like from Brighton's team at West Ham, mate?
Trossard, Cucurella is the main one. I think.
I think Cucurella is an absolute steal.
I think he's superb. I think he's honestly. I think next season as well. I think he's going to go on to do great things. He's still quite young as well. I think.
Yeah.
And he's just got everything going for him. He can defend. He can attack so well. He's busy. He don't stop moving. I know it sounds weird. I do love the fact that it's same with Ronaldinho. Like, when he used to run about, his hair used to flop about, and I like it with Cucurella where his hair like flops about. I love it. Sounds a bit gay, but I do.
Listen, I like Brighton. I think Brighton are a good side. I think Potter's doing a good job for them.
Got a massive stick a couple months ago.
Yeah, I think he's going up. He's going up levels with Brighton. But you've got to understand, Brighton are a lower Premier League side. They're not a top 10 side, and it's going to take time for them.
And they spend their budget so well. How much do they buy Cucurella for?
Cheap. If I remember rightly, I think they got him from Spain or somewhere. Yeah, for
They did, yeah. I think it was Getafe, I think.
Yeah, I think it was like £7 million or something. Something ridiculous. But when I look at Brighton's team and I look at their players, the first player that comes to mind for me is Lamptey. Tariq Lamptey for me. The only problem
Sorry,
is
Lamptey. I completely forgot about Lamptey. Fucking hell.
Yeah,
Superb player.
I think
the keeper's good as well.
I'm not too keen on the keeper. I will say that.
I quite like him. I quite like him, to be honest.
But Lamptey for me, I'd have, if I was to cherry pick from Brighton, it'd be Lamptey, it'd be Zouma, and it'd be Trossard for me. Them three players.
Cucurella,
Cucurella, I would. Yeah, is he a right back or left back?
Left back.
Well, if he's left back, then yeah, sign him up 100%.
He would honestly slot in our team like a fucking. I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Like a key in a lock.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something funny, but not sexual. I'll give up.
Yeah, listen, I think he was. I think they're a good side, Brighton. I think they destroyed Man United. Man United are in a very, very dark place at the minute, which is slightly good to see because they're getting a taste of reality that they're not the greatest team on the planet evermore. Do you know what I mean? So let me ask you this, Mitch, before we wrap. Where do you see West Ham finishing?
I think the position where we are now, 7th. I would take 7th now as well. I think keeps us in Europa. I think we finish 7th. I can't see. I personally can't see us beating Brighton and Palace beating United at the same time.
I can see Palace beating United. I really can.
I just can't see both of them happening.
Yeah,
I think my prediction is that.
I can't see us beating Brighton. Yeah,
especially away from, especially performance they put in yesterday. No, I think 7th is where we'll finish, and I'll be happy with that. I will be happy with that.
I think
overall season finish, finishing semi-finals, Europa League conference, and the fact that we haven't spent anything in January, so we've got a massive war chest supposedly for the summer, sets us up for hopefully what should be another good season. Yeah,
I agree. The only thing I will say about it is this week coming up is a massive week for the Premier League because Liverpool got to go to Aston Villa, right? If Liverpool lose that game, City will go 6 points clear. They beat Wolves, and then they've got to play us. So technically, they would only need a draw against us, really.
Yeah, true.
Do you know what I mean? So
I think, they weren't great the other day.
And
Spurs
for me, I look at it like this: this week will decide it for me. Right? If West Ham can get something against City, if they can't get nothing against City, which is, let's be honest, it's highly likely that West Ham aim. If we can go to Brighton and just put in just a top draw performance, I think we can beat Brighton, but we've got to break this curse. We have not beaten this team. I cannot believe in all the years Brighton have been in the Premier League, we have not beaten this team once. Not once. Like we was 3-0 up at the LS. We drew 3-0. We got slapped at the LS 3-0 with Glenn Murray.
Sorry, James, go on. You keep go on, mate. Sorry.
Right, it's been poor, isn't it? It's been poor against Brighton. And this season, and the game this season proved it. We was 1-0 up against them, cruising along, and then we ended up drawing a game 1-0. I think they had 10 men at the end, which was not good.
I thought Glenn Murray retired or left. Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought happy days. That's it. That's the curse gone, but obviously not.
Yeah.
Would it be an idea to rest quite a few players against Man City for Brighton?
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because Brighton's the more winnable game, and it's like a playoff, isn't it? Like
and the players will tire massively, and a lot of them essentially be getting a 2-week break, and which would give us much more of a big advantage for Brighton, which is obviously a massive game.
I think Mark Noble is going to play in that game against City, and I can see a 3-man midfield coming up straight away. For me, should we rest players? No, not really, because we need to win. The only thing I will say, if the game goes dead, and say for example we're 2-0 down, then I would get them all off and go right. It's all on the
Yeah,
Brighton
that's
game.
a good idea, actually, to be
Yeah, I
fair.
mean, because I can't. Do you know what? I've watched Man United now, like most of the season. Yeah, like in games, and I cannot believe that we're finished. If we finish, if they finish above us, I just can't work it out, mate.
And the fact we
Because
lost to them twice this season, and
yeah,
without being rude to Mark Noble, because I absolutely adore the man, if he scored that penalty, we'd be in
that's
Europa
a
League
point.
positions right now.
Yeah, but it's just
So fuck Mark Noble.
no, never.
I feel bad saying that. I'm
I,
getting emotional
I
when you look at me.
I just look at it like this. Yeah, I just think we've just got to break this fucking curse. We've got to break this
Mm.
Brighton curse. Where do I think we'll finish? I believe we can do it. I believe we can do 6. I reckon the Man City game might be a bit too much, right? But nothing would surprise me. West Ham go to beat Man City and then lose against Brighton. That would
Yeah.
not surprise me in the slightest. It's just the West
But even
Ham
if we
way, isn't
did
it?
do that, if Palace still beat United, we'd still be in 6th.
I'm literally confident in Palace. I think Palace. I've watched Palace a few times this year. They always play well against the big teams. They always do. Right against City, they got a draw at home. They beat them away, and they're a good side under Vieira. So for me, I think Palace will go through United quite comfortably.
James,
Really, yeah.
it's the Palace game before the West Ham game.
Nah, nah. All the games
The games at the
next
same time,
Sunday,
aren't they?
all the same time. Yeah. Final game, final weekend of the season. They're all
Yeah.
3:00 kickoffs. I think they are. So whatever happens, happens. Really, do you know what I'm saying? Anything else, Mitch, that you want to discuss before we go, mate? Or are you good?
Not really, just that it should be a very interesting next 2 weeks. Obviously, looking at relegation battle, look at the battle for top 6, like us United, look at the battle for top 4, look at the battle
Yeah.
for the title. Playoff games should be interesting for.
Here you go, Mitch. I've just thought of saying, who's getting relegated now? Who's the main one to get relegated?
I think Leeds, mate.
I think I backed Leeds to get relegated about a month ago.
And I fucking hope so, because I can't stand them cunts, mate. Lipping, start of the season, we're here to stay. Look, we had a good first season. We're going to push on now. I remember on the overlap they done with Gary Neville and all that. There was one of them that said, we're Leeds, we're here to stay. I thought, fuck off, you cunts. You've been there for fucking a season.
Mate,
and now look at
that was the best. That was the best Scouse accent I've ever heard.
You can't.
Listen, I actually do.
Anyway,
think
I'm not impressed now, right?
Yeah, I know.
I'd love to. I'd love them to go down and us to nick Rafinha and Calvin Phillips off them, and then they fucking want in the Championship for another 20 years.
Yeah,
that'd be brilliant.
Listen, I think Leeds are in trouble, mate, big time. I really, really do, and I'm saying it quite openly. I feel the Chelsea game next week. They got Chelsea. I think they got Brentford last game of the season away. I'm not sure who their other game is. I think it's Villa at home. I think. I'm not too sure, but I think if Burnley can pick up another win from somewhere, it's going to be hard. They got Spurs, Villa away, and then they got Newcastle at home. I think Newcastle at home, last game of the season, I think Burnley might get something. I think Newcastle will be safe on the beach and going, this is it, this is us done. I think Leeds are in trouble, mate. And and if they go down, then I would happily take Rafinha and Calvin Phillips and they've both got a release clause, funny enough, in their contract that if they do go down, 30 million a pair, I think it is.
Oh, that'd be superb. Getting them both 60 million. Oh, that'd be a steal. And then offloading Souček for 20 mil. Oh, that would make my day. That'd make my summer. But only thing we'll say about Leeds going down, I will say the performance of the atmosphere rather is great, and it's personally my favourite away day in the Premier League so far.
Yeah,
I thought Leeds, especially this season, was superb.
Leeds is always a hostile place to go, but whatever happens, it's going to be exciting. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there. It's been an absolute pleasure to have Mitchell on tonight. West Ham have got the 4-0 win.
I've really
at
enjoyed
Norwich
it
today. I must admit, I'm over the moon. I've got 56 people watching. Please do like the video. Please do subscribe to the channel. It goes a long way. It helps me out greatly. I'm building my numbers slowly but surely. And if you want to subscribe, please do so. Anyway, what's your plans for the week, Mitch? Anything interesting?
Work. No, I just work, mate. Absolute shit day tomorrow. I'm working in Uxbridge. It's like 2 hours, 15 minutes for me.
Oh,
I've got to be
Chelsea
there at 8
territory,
o'clock.
that is.
It's just shit. Absolute shit. Middle of nowhere.
Well,
It's what it is.
if we don't hear from Mitchell anymore, he's been captured by the headhunters of Chelsea.
By
But
them fucking rent boys.
But anyway, listen. Thanks for everyone for watching. Have a good week, whatever you're doing. And West Ham win 4-0. Can we beat City next week? Who knows? They won 5-0 today. So I mean, anyway, good night.
5?